just drop me on the floor. I kept on singing more and more. La la la, ti ti ti. La la la, ti ti ti. La la la, ti ti ti. Sing a sweet soca song. La la la, ti ti ti. La la la, ti ti ti. La la la, ti ti ti. Sing a sweet soca song. The name of the song is La 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 Ti Ti Ti, Sweet Soca Song, released in 1974.
Democracy means equality of opportunity.
Let me give you the story of the song. This song, in 1971, I got signed to KH Records, and they had a record label called Kalinda. Kalinda was a label designed to promote a project called the South Caribbean Sound. Kerry Richards of KH Records, Kerry the King, wanted a sound that was considered from Trinidad and Tobago. So he called it the South Caribbean Song, right? He didn't have a name for it. He just called it South Caribbean Song. And this is where that word SOCA came from, because SOCA is an acronym for the South Caribbean Song. SOCA was never considered a genre of music. SOCA was just, let us find a way to package calypso in a way that is palatable to international audiences. And to do so, we had to create a song. And it's S-O-U-N-D, not S-O-N-G, S-O-U-N-D. And all the experimentation we did at KH Records, Nappy Myers, myself, Carl Addison, Wildfire, it was all to try and develop a type of song specific to Trinidad and Tobago. It's called the South Caribbean Song. Now, La 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 Ti 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 was the first song that came out of this experimentation, and it was the first song that was taken up by Casablanca Records, the label that covers Donna Summer and Giorgio Moroder. Sweet Soca Song. It is about a guy sitting in a discotheque, seeing a girl, and the girl asks him to come and dance on the dance floor. And while she's dancing, she's doing a special dance, and it's making him feel so free because he was down and out, and the girl dancing, the sweet body movements and everything, right? And she will tell him, we're worried about, just sing a sweet soca song, La 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 Ti Ti Ti. La 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 Ti Ti Ti, La 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 Ti Ti Ti, sing a sweet soca song. La 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 Ti Ti Ti, we started the recording in 1971. And I will start it and do a verse and a chorus. I will stop it and do other projects and come back to it. So eventually it took about between 1971 and 1974. That's how long it took to put the whole thing together. Sound recorded in 2 studios. The first studio we used was KH Studios. When Douglas Records and Casablanca Records came, the song at that time had only 1 verse and a chorus. On that verse and chorus alone, they bought the song. And it took me and the song and all the tracks up to Electric Lady. That's the name of the Jimi Hendrix studio in New York. I've been to the States before, and I've been to New York before. But as a tourist, you go to New York, you watch the big buildings, you eat hot dog, you go to a show, maybe, whatever. But to go into the studio, and this is a legendary studio. This studio is owned by Jimi Hendrix. So there's a lot of history in it. So you walk inside there and you see all these pictures of all these great artists, right? And nothing will boost your ego more than to say, well, I here and he was here, that kind of thing. The experience was, I can tell you how I felt. I felt frightened because I felt like if I wanted these people to know what they're doing, not me, because I don't have that confidence, What they see in this La 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 Ti 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 thing, right? And also exuberant because, boy, I'm going to be part of history here. The original musicians for the song was Carl Beaver Anderson keyboards, Angus Noon's bass, Michael Tobias drums, Robin Imamsha guitar. Additional drums put onto it by Bernard Purdy, the drummer, and additional background vocals are put onto it by Donna Summer and another girl, which I can't remember. I felt that I should name the song La Da Da Ti Ti Ti, simply because the year before that, Lord Nelson had a song called La 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 La, and I felt that people in Trinidad would feel and I'm copying him. So I wanted to change the word from la 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 ti to la da da ti ti ti. Of course, the song was written long before Nelson's song. So when I went to the studio in Electric Lady, Donna Summer was singing, and she got problems singing la da da ti 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 because la da da is not really a very musical lyric. So she wanted to say la la la. And she asked me if I could do it. I said, yeah. And then Georgia Maruda said you have to get permission from the writer. And then I said, well, okay, I'm the writer, so I could give you. So I had to actually sign an agreement to let me sing my own song and change the lyric, to la la la.
You will hang your handles on a chair, just to sing and dance is all you care. We all have our problems now and then. Sometimes we've just got to forget them.
The song came out. The problem with the song, not the song, but the problem with the writer, which was me, was an artist, is that they did not like my name, Imam Shah. They found it was too ethnic. Now you have to remember this is in the 70s, right? So they put on a record in the release in the States, written by Love Trinidad. No, performed by Love Trinidad, LUV Trinidad, written by Robin Imam in small brackets. When the song came out, it like snuck into Trinidad and Tobago. The radio stations and the papers tend to keep indigenous music off of the airways. Around carnival time, they would allow a certain amount of programming of calypso music. And it only had to be at a certain time. And then once that time is up, it's over, no more calypso. And forget it, after carnival, there was no calypso music at all. So how would artists who wanted to write their own music get to play on the radio stations? What artists started doing was covering popular songs. Everybody was kung fu fighting, this or that or the other, right? And putting that onto a local record and getting that to play on the radio stations. What we started to do was write songs that were non-calypso. Still have a certain calypso rhythm to it, but not calypso in that format. And that now broke that whole barrier of getting songs on the radio. 610 radio and 730 radio at the time were the two stations that were in Trinidad and Tobago. We started to get play on AM radio with Dave Elcock and John Booz. These are the people who trying to promote local music and had to go against the bigwigs up there to get our music to play.
Not a feeling, not inside me. SOCA music set me free.
It was the first soca song that was on Billboard. Sweet Soca Song was the first time that the world heard the word soca. In fact, when it played on American Bandstand, the announcer said, "This is Sweet Soca Song." They couldn't even understand how to pronounce the word, right? And I don't know what else to tell you about the song. I could go through every part of it because every verse have a story, Beaver was in Semp Studios. I want Beaver to play the piano, and the Cage Studios. Cage don't want Beaver to come and hear the song, right? That is the studios fighting, eh? So I called Beaver in a night session when nobody there. We put on the piano, right? So when the next day they come out in the morning and they hear any song, say, "Who bought the piano?" I say, "David, it's Beaver." It's lying all the time, Although they had their Semp and they had a fight, the music is still be together,
Sweet soca song, la 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 ti ti ti, la 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 ti ti ti, la 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 ti ti ti. Sing a sweet soca song, la 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 ti ti ti, la 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 ti ti ti, la 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 ti ti ti. Sing a sweet soca song.
That's it there,